All right, we got the next installment of getting the 3-gun shotgun all 3-gunned up, out, 3-gun, gussied up for 3-gun. Yeah. All right. So, what you might have noticed down here, we got ourselves a stage burner. This device just came out in July 4th of 2017. This is the model designed for the Benelli M2. There are other models that are released or being released in August for the other popular shotguns, including the JM Pro. However, I was in touch with Mike Burner of Stage Burner, just curious about how things were going, and he offered to modify and send me a Benelli M2 to work with the JM Pro so I could get it on there sooner. So the modifications are really just some extra layers of the super strong 3M tape, and then the location of the hole drilled for drilling and tapping the screw into the trigger guard. And I think that's about it. Another little nub I think was ground off or something like that. But basically it ends up, whoops, there's a strong magnets in there. So we end up attached to the trigger guard, giving us a +2 start. So it's similar to that rare earth magnet, which we saw in another video. So we got 2 shells that are going to be able to go on there that we can load it 2 right in, or you could just do 1, 2, so that loaded extra shells at the start. Now, where did my rare earth magnet go that was on here that we saw in other videos? If you look at 3-gun competition video from I think it was June, I'll put a link in here, you'll see some insane fumbling on a couple of the, I think it was the second stage with the shotgun. What had happened, the epoxy came loose or gave way, and that rare earth magnet made its way into my receiver. So I'm fishing a rare earth magnet out of my receiver while trying to load, and it was just awful. And then the rest of the match got rid of that rare earth magnet, and I had no problems. Well, you can't see it in the video, but I just kind of chuck it. I was like, screw it, whatever. And then maybe about 2 or 3 weeks later, the stage burner was announced, and I said, huh, you know what? There we go, perfect solution. This was developed with Keith Garcia, who popularized the rare earth magnet part. So this is designed by the guy who made the technique. This is gonna be awesome. So first thing we got to do is I'm going to take out my trigger housing to make it easier to work on. That's just achieved by popping out these 2 pins, taking everything out, and then I'm going to be scribing where that hole is going to be for drilling and tapping, and we'll go from there. All right, I was just scribing that line on there real quick, or really a circle. I just grabbed a small drill bit, and I had to cut away some of the 2-sided tape in here to get a clean shot of that hole, and just scribed where that's going to end up. So to pop out the trigger, I've actually got to do basic disassembly, so I'll do that real quick right now. So we got a trigger group out. You can see that little scribe mark I made. Now what I'm going to end up doing is clamping this between 2 blocks and bringing this down into the shop to drill that hole in, well, bring it down to the machine room, I should say, to drill that hole nice and square, and then tap that. I can tap it by hand, and then that machine screw will go in there, and we'll be good to go. So when we come back, or I'll get that camera downstairs and show you the setup on the drill press. So yeah, that's that part. We'll look at that next part in just a moment. So I've actually got this mounted in the upstairs vise right now between these two blocks with padding in there. So you can see where the trigger assembly is here, resting in there, and you can actually even use your stage burner as a guide. Again, making sure that everything is nice and square. That's going to be essential for doing the drilling into that trigger guard. Provided a couple of different little machine screws in there, so depending on which one I need to use, they're slightly different lengths. Okay, so I'll be drilling and tapping for these, and yeah, there we go. And we have a drilled and tapped trigger guard. Phew! Not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous there. So in the time lapse, it went way faster, obviously, because it's time lapse. But nice and slow with that tap is key. And you'll see I got my little bottle of ballistol out there. Keep it lubricated while you're cutting. Nice and slow is essential to get a good cut. All right, so I'm gonna take this out of the vise. We're gonna wipe away metal chips. Now, I'm pretty sure this trigger guard's aluminum. That cut ridiculously easy, like super duper easy, which that's always nice. Okay, so we got our hole lined up. I gotta figure out, I just gotta figure out which Allen key that is set for. I'm gonna do a little test fit, and then we'll put it back together. There's our test fit. You can see our screw's a little long. I'll shorten that up, or there's another shorter one in there. I'll just file it down, you know, get that set up. Add a little bit of tape here and there, and then it's gonna be done. So I'm gonna do the rest of that off camera, and then we'll have the final together picture, or final together video and pictures at the end here. So off camera, finishing this up. Again, just gonna file the screw so it's flush, add a little bit more of the tape in there so it's nice and secure, and we'll be good to go. Also, thread locker in there. All right, and we're back together. Look at that. All right, we got a stage burner installed on that JM Pro. As far as I know, this is the first JM Pro with a stage burner on it, as far as we know. So that's pretty cool. All right, so we'll do some testing. We'll play around with it, and this installment of the Project 3-Gun Shotgun is over. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great rest of your day.